Here are some of the amazing mega projects now under construction in 2022, ranging from record-breaking buildings to enormous dams, from shifting entire capital cities to creating artificial islands. Welcome to Unleash Billions, the channel dedicated to exploring the lives and strategies of the world's most successful entrepreneurs and business leaders. So join us as we uncover the secrets of the billionaires and learn how you can unleash your own success. Let's get started. Number 14. Egypt's new capital. Egypt's future capital will emerge from a desert 50 kilometers to the east of Cairo in 2022. There are more than 20 million people living in the historic capital of Cairo, which has reached the limit of its infrastructure. The population is expected to double by 2050, adding to the city's already crowded, filthy, and congested conditions. The new capital will separate from Cairo's urban sprawl and provide a new home for 6 million people in addition to a new location for the government. The iconic tower, Africa's highest skyscraper, as well as government buildings and green spaces twice the size of New York's Central Park, will be included in the project's initial phase. The majority of the government's offices have already begun migrating into the nameless new capital. It is one of the most expensive mega projects being built in 2022, with a $40 billion budget. Number 13. Bahitan Dam. Similar to Egypt, China is facing new problems as a result of its expanding population. Meeting the 1.4 billion people's increasing energy needs is one of the issues. China is constructing some of the largest hydropower dams in light of this. China will complete the construction of the second largest hydroelectric dam in the world in 2022, following in the footsteps of the Three Gorges Dam. The Hoover Dam in the United States can produce 16,000 megawatts of electricity, whereas the Bahitan Dam can produce approximately 8 times as much as electricity. In April 2021, the $34 billion project's partial operations commenced. By June, 2 of its 16 turbines were producing energy, and by July 2022, it is anticipated to be completely operational. Number 12. New York's new airport terminal. The biggest airport in New York, which already has the second busiest city airport system in the world, is soon to get even better. The JFK Airport will undergo a $9.5 billion renovation beginning in 2022, marking the greatest private investment in such a project to date. The JFK Airport is expected to become one of the world's most popular airport destinations as a result of the expansions. The present Terminal 1, the 59-year-old Terminal 2, and the already demolished Terminal 3 will be replaced by the new Terminal 1. The new terminal has undergone some significant renovations, including larger check-ins, contemporary construction, and exhibits depicting well-known New York sites. The first of the new Terminal 1's 23 new gates will be operational by 2026, and construction on it will continue throughout the decade. Number 11. The world's biggest soccer stadium. In recent years, the Chinese Super League has generated significant buzz in the football world. By giving them enormous salaries, they have enlisted international superstars like Carlos Tevez, Oscar, and Hulk to play in China. The Evergrande Real Estate Group, which controls more than 1,300 properties in 280 cities throughout China, was in charge of this financial infusion into the league. The corporation began construction of the largest football stadium in the world in 2020 after adding several notable football players to the league. Over 100,000 people might be accommodated at the Guangzhou Evergrande Football Stadium, exceeding the capacity of Barcelona's renowned Camp Nou. The Evergrande Group was expecting to finish building the stadium by the end of 2022, but financial difficulties forced them to postpone all of their mega projects. After missing a major repayment date in December of last year, the crisis at Evergrande grew worse. It has almost $300 billion in total liabilities, making it the most indebted firm in the world right now. Chinese officials took over management of the stadium project toward the end of last year and placed it up for auction since the primary developer was having financial difficulties. A state-owned investment body will take over the project if no buyers can be found. But, like many of Evergrande's unfinished projects, they may decide to stop work completely. Number 10. Jeddah Economic City. Saudi Arabia published Saudi Vision 2030 in 2016 in an effort to lessen its reliance on oil and diversify its economy toward investments and tourism. A crucial component of that vision is the $20 billion Jeddah Economic City, whose development is progressing steadily. The three areas of the city are now being worked on as all road and landscaping work is almost finished. The world's tallest tower is slated to be built in Jeddah Economic City. There are more than 200 towers planned for the city, even though the Jeddah Tower's future is still uncertain. We can expect additional towers to emerge from Saudi Arabia's largest mega project once the basic infrastructure is finished. Number 9. Padma Bridge. The majority of Bangladesh's territory is located less than 5 meters above sea level, and the country has hundreds of rivers. The nation is struggling with severe flooding issues and the effects of climate change. Building new infrastructure has become very difficult and expensive as a result of these problems. Bangladesh's infrastructure is hence inadequate, which is preventing it from growing economically. The Padma Bridge mega project, which will link the nation's capital Dhaka with the south, is much more significant. The World Bank and other donors initially provided the $3 billion in funding. The World Bank withdrew from the project in response to charges of corruption against Bangladeshi government officials, so they revoked their $1.2 billion credit. Other donors soon came on board, and Bangladesh made the decision to fund the project itself even after the corruption allegations were dropped in a Canadian court. The two-level, multi-purpose bridge's construction got underway in 2014. While the bottom level will contain a single-track railroad, the upper level carries a 4-lane highway. The bridge was built on 42 pillars that extend into water up to 122 meters deep. By June 2022, the 6.1-kilometer-long bridge will be accessible to the general public. One of the longest river crossings in the world, it is also the longest bridge in Bangladesh. The bridge will eventually provide service to 75,000 cars daily, greatly lowering travel time and vehicle operating expenses. Bangladesh's booming economy will also benefit further from it, as the country's GDP is anticipated to rise by up to 2%. Number 8. New Clark City. Another nation preparing a fallback capital is the Philippines, in case Manila, the existing capital, is rendered inoperable. Manila is situated on the edge of the Pacific Ring of Fire, which is home to the majority of earthquakes and active volcanoes in the world. Authorities deem the nearby Taal volcano to be highly active, and several 100,000 people would need to be evacuated in the case of catastrophic eruption. For this reason, the Philippines is constructing New Clark City in a more convenient location around 100 kilometers north of Manila. It will have brand new government buildings, special economic zones, and residences for up to 1.2 million people. It will be larger than Manhattan. The city will be built out in 5 stages over the course of 30 years, with the first phase expected to be finished in 2022. Number 7. Brenner Base Tunnel. Another tunnel over the Alps will mimic the success of Switzerland's Gotthard Base Tunnel, which opened in 2016 and enabled Switzerland to transfer cargo quickly across Europe. The second longest railroad tunnel in the world, the 55-kilometer Brenner Base Tunnel will link Italy and Austria. The European Union, which contributes half of the project's expected expenses, designated it a high-priority initiative. 2014 saw the start of the site's excavation activities. Although 2025 was a target completion date, a 3-year delay was first experienced during tunneling due to technical issues. A billion-dollar deal with one of the project's principal developers was terminated in 2020, which caused the project to experience yet another delay. This compelled the reissuing of construction tenders, which resulted in a 4-year delay. The Brenner Base Tunnel is projected to cost roughly $9 billion and be completely operational by 2032. By 2022, excavation work on the tunnel's Italian side will have been finished, and it will now move closer to the Austrian border. When the tunnel is finished, travel times will drop from 80 to 25 minutes. By moving it to an underground railway line, it will lessen the amount of heavy load traffic on the highways. Number 6. Vietnam's new airport. Ho Chi Minh is the largest urban area in Vietnam, home to almost 9 million people. Despite only having enough for 25 million passengers, their main airport served more than 35 million travelers in 2019. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the congestion was reduced. However, Vietnam is going forward with a long-term fix. In January 2021, the government gave its approval for the new Long Ton International Airport to be built. The airport, which is 40 kilometers east of Ho Chi Minh City, will be built in 3 phases and eventually accommodate 100 million passengers annually. Around 18% of the nation is polluted with mines as a result of the Vietnam War, one of the highest percentages in the world. Mine detection and clearance work was ultimately finished by 2021, and this month construction on the project may start. The project's initial phase will be finished 6 months earlier than anticipated, allowing the airport to accommodate 25 million passengers annually. To increase capacity to 50 million people, the Airports Corporation of Vietnam will build a second runway and extend the passenger terminal in the second phase. The project will cost $16 billion to complete its 3 phases, making it the most expensive infrastructure undertaking in Vietnam's history. Number 5. Merdeka Tower. Without featuring the tallest skyscraper now under development, a movie highlighting the largest mega projects of 2022 would fall short. The Merdeka Tower in Malaysia has been under construction since 2014 and will be finished this year. The Merdeka Tower's completion is notable since it might be the last of its kind. Due to the pandemic, other anticipated extremely tall structures, like as the Jeddah Tower and the Dubai Creek Tower, have had delays, and it is yet unknown what will become of them. There are no projects planned in the US that would even approach the size of the Merdeka Tower, and new skyscrapers taller than 500 meters are prohibited in China. The 6 super tall skyscraper in Kuala Lumpur Merdeka Tower has a breathtaking height of 679 meters, making it one of the most notable skylines in the entire globe. Number 4. Incheon International Airport. The busiest airport in the world and the largest in South Korea is Seoul's airport. It consistently receives the top rankings for service quality, and its average passenger processing times are among the quickest in the globe. The 2 terminals at the airport can accommodate more than 70 million passengers, but there are currently plans in place to expand it into one of the largest aviation hubs in the world. The 4th runway at the airport as well as the expansion of Terminal 2 are part of the new phase of construction that started in 2017. When both terminals are finished, they will be able to handle 50 million people each, and the extra runway will allow Incheon International to handle more than 100 planes each hour. Number 3. Lusail City. There have been numerous scandals surrounding the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup. Human rights violations, allegations of corruption, and terrible working conditions have all been the subject of contentious discussion. Concerns were raised about Qatar's ability to hold such a large event in the absence of adequate infrastructure. In spite of all the worries, Qatar continued with its planning, and one of its largest mega projects is now almost finished. The construction of Lusail City, which will be finished this year at an estimated cost of $45 billion, is situated 20 kilometers from Doha's capital. 22 hotels, 4 brand new towers, and other entertainment venues will be located there for the traveling football fans. The majority of the city's construction is finished, including the renowned 80,000-seat stadium that will pay host to the championship event's final on December 18. 300,000 people will live in Lusail City after the World Cup, and its brand new stadium will be transformed into a neighborhood. Number 2. Moscow International Business Center. With the building of 2 additional extremely tall towers, Russia's aim to develop a financial center is gaining momentum. The business area, which was initially envisioned in the 1990s, would house more than 300,000 people and serve as the capital's financial center. Construction first began in 1995, but as investment dwindled over the ensuing decades, several planned structures had to be postponed or shelved. The project had received $12 billion in investment as of 2014, when it was 50% finished. In 2019, work on 2 well-known buildings, The One Tower and the Grand Tower was resumed, raising expectations for a prompt completion. The One Tower was initially intended to stand 400 meters tall, but subsequent design modifications increased its overall height to 445 meters, making it the tallest structure in Europe. The Grand Tower, another skyscraper a few blocks distant, is scheduled to be finished in 2022. The Moscow International Business Center will be finished in 2024, with more than half of the planned facilities already completed and others under development. Number 1. Denmark's Energy Islands. In 1991, Denmark built the first offshore wind farm in history. With the creation of an artificial energy island, they will now advance offshore energy production. The nation is now building a centralized power station surrounded by windmills in the middle of the North Sea to meet its sustainable energy requirements. Geological surveys are conducted to confirm that the seafloor is suitable for laying foundations before construction can begin. This includes mapping the geological layers down to a depth of 100 meters and sampling the seabed. 4 million tons of earth will need to be transported to the North Sea in order to build the artificial island. Up to 3 times the scale of the Statue of Liberty, some of the turbines will be enormous. According to estimates, the facility will create 50% more energy than is required for the Danish population. Hence, the excess energy will be sold to nearby nations. The $34 billion project is the biggest building undertaking in Danish history. Denmark will attempt to emulate its success in the Baltic Sea. Which mega project has your attention the most? Tell us in the comments section below. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Unleash Billions. And if you haven't already, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest content. Remember, success is within your reach, so unleash your inner billionaire. Until next time, we'll see you in the next video.